This video is going to be the full system test of my program, so I'll run it from start to finish as if I've never run it before. So I'll run it by pressing this run button, and it's loading in on form 1 as it should. I can press exit to exit if I want, but obviously I would like to play. So I'll create an account, I'll create test user, and my password will be 123. I'll have this error characters at least, so do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now my password's 1 to 8 and my account creates successfully. Now if I want to log in I can, so I can type in the numbers 1 to 8 again and my account is successfully logged in. Now you'll notice I can have this settings icon be clicked and I can change the theme or go into more settings. I can view the high scores, there's none so far, or view how to play. So I won't do that because I don't need to know how to play. I can turn power-ups on, I can set the initial speed to what I want. I'll turn these off and go into practice mode so far, and you'll notice I can hold 3 pieces in practice mode, and it says practice here. That's how you know it's practice mode. As you can see, I'm moving the pieces, I'm rotating the pieces, I'm clearing lines as well, so everything works as intended so far. One line cleared, so I have 200 points because I'm on level 5, because the score that you get is based on the amount of lines cleared and your level. And on practice mode you can press the 2 key to increase your speed manually, because the speed does not automatically increase in practice mode. But if you think it's too fast, you can press the 1 key and that will decrease your speed. So I'm back to a slow speed again, but I'm still on level 5, which is interesting, and that's quite a powerful tool for practice mode. Now also in practice mode you can hold 3 pieces, so I press the A key there to hold this J piece, and now I can hold it again and I'm holding this L piece as well. Now if I clear a few lines here, I can hold 1 more piece now, and now if I try and hold another piece, it acts as a queue system. So this piece will be pushed out, this J piece, and then all the other pieces will be moved up 1 place in the queue. So if I hold this I piece here, the J piece comes up, and you can see the I piece comes here, everything else comes up 1 more place in the queue. Now I've got quite a big score here. I'll increase the speed to speed it up. Also you'll notice when the pieces seem to increase increase the score as well, that's when I'm performing hard drops or soft drops, and those are by pressing the D arrow key or the D key or the down arrow key. So you'll notice here this is quite fast, but I'm speeding it up even more by holding these keys down as they descend. But you'll notice as it gets faster it's very difficult to place the pieces where you want. So you'll notice I can still hold these pieces. You'll notice there's a minor error when you rotate a piece above another one. Then sometimes this error appears where the piece actually falls through the other piece by 1 block. So that is one of my tests which actually fails, whereas most of the other tests passed. So you'll notice since that was just a practice mode, my high score doesn't count in that mode. I can also select power-ups to be on and play marathon mode if I want. So you'll notice in marathon mode you can only hold 1 piece, and the power-up bank here indicates that I've had power-up selected. So every time you clear a line in a power-up mode, there's a random chance that a random power-up block will appear. But this is just a random chance, so it may not appear all the time. So you'll notice here, this block has a power-up block in. So what happens when I clear a power-up block? I can, when I clear a line with a power-up block within it, I can get one of 3 power-ups. So I can either have the slow power-up, the double line power-up, or the laser power-up. So here I've got the slow power-up activated, so you'll notice this pop-up message says slow activated. And you can see I can still rotate and move my pieces at high speeds. It's just easier because they fall at a slower speed, but you can still speed up when you are moving them left and right, and when you're rotating them you can still do that as quickly as you want. And another thing, even though the slow duration is active, I can still press the down arrow key or the D key to perform a soft drop or a hard drop. So I'll perform a soft drop and my slow is still activated, but now it's ended because it's just not an infinite process. And any lines I clear while the slow power-up is active, there's a 0% chance of any blocks turning into a power-up block when I've already got a power-up active, or when there's already a power-up block in the grid. So now I'll hold this and I'll put this in this gap here, so then I can clear these lines. And another power-up block has appeared there. Now I can clear this line, so it's easier to get the power-up block. And if I if I try and clear this line, the power-up block will also clear when I clear this line. So I could get one of the power-ups. And again, I've got the slow power-up. But I don't have to have the slow power-up. I could have any of the others. And you'll notice I can move the piece here, but I can't rotate it before it's fully loaded in. And as you can see, the slow duration has ended. So another line is cleared here, but the power-up block did not appear because they don't always have to appear. And you'll notice that when power-ups are enabled, I've got quite a high score here compared to my last game. And that's just because when power-ups are enabled, it's a bit easier to play. However, practice mode is generally the easier option. So I'm going to clear this again, and I've got this laser power-up stored, and how that works is I can press the W key to activate the laser, and the laser will clear the bottom 8 rows from the grid. So, and obviously lower all the other pieces so they're not just floating. So if I build up a stack here with these without clearing any lines, and now if I press the W key, you'll notice only these are still in the grid because everything else was on the 8th row or lower, and all of those get deleted by the laser. So I've got another power-up block here, and you'll notice that this one was actually the double line power-up, so I cleared a double line here when I only filled one line, but since the power-up it gave me was the double line power-up, it actually cleared 2 lines instead. At this point, you can see that the score is very high and the level's 10, so the speed's quite fast, and that's because I've cleared so many lines. And now the game has ended with this score. If I press home, go back to menu, then my score is in the high scores list. Now I can change the speed to whatever I want, so if I want this to be 3, then I can go on here and I can do this on dark mode, which is harder because you can't hold any pieces in dark mode, and I'm doing it without power-ups, so you'll notice this tab has disappeared here again. But in dark mode everything else works, apart from if I press the A key. I'm pressing it now and I can't hold a piece, and that's because it's in dark mode. But your score still saves to the high score list. You still can't rotate here. The only changes are the visible appearance and one feature, that being the hold feature. And you'll notice the game has ended now because I haven't cleared any lines. The only score I've got is from performing soft drops. So if I click here, go back to menu, I want to see my score. You'll notice my first score is above because 116 is less than the first score that I achieved. So you can also go onto this more settings. You can have grid lines on or off. I'll keep them off for now. And you can also deselect up to 4 pieces so that only 3 are in play. For this, I'll deselect these 3 and confirm it. So I can click home to exit this screen, or if I want, I can change the colours of each piece first. So I'm going to change these colours to the ones shown, and I won't bother changing these colours. You can change them. I'll change this to show, and this one as well. Actually, I will change all of them, but they won't appear in the game because I haven't selected them. So now if I press home, I'm back to the game screen. I want to go on default so you can actually see the colours, and I'll go back on marathon mode. So as you can see, I'm on level 4, so it's a bit slower than before, but still quite fast. And you can also see that the pieces' colours have changed, and that so far, only the pieces I've selected have appeared. Apart from the only piece I've selected that hasn't appeared is actually the L piece, which is going to appear next if you look at this. So all 4 pieces I've selected have appeared. However, at this point, none of the others have appeared, and that's because they can't appear because the way I deselected them. So this is a lot easier since I've deselected a few of the pieces, and for that reason the high scores don't count towards the leaderboard when you achieve them in this mode. Although since it is marathon, all the other rules of marathon mode work, so the speed still increases. You can't manually increase and decrease the speed, so if I press the 2 key here, it can't increase, even though in the practice mode it can increase. The only way you can sort of increase and decrease the speed is by performing a soft drop or a hard drop, but that only increases the speed for that specific piece. It doesn't increase the speed as a whole, so you can't manually increase the full speed. So as you'll notice, so far still none of the other pieces have appeared, and that's because they can't appear. But the speed's still increasing because I scored 10 lines so far. You can still hold all the pieces and swap them back if you want. And the game is about to end here with a score of this. So I'll then play again in marathon mode to show that the pause button works here. The game is paused. And also, you can decide if actually you don't want to play a game, you can press the home button. And that ends the game. Now I can view high scores. Since my previous score only used 4 of the 7 pieces, it hasn't appeared. And my other score as well that I got from when I just clicked the home button to exit the game, that didn't appear either. So I can press X there and I can exit the program from this menu or this button. So I'll exit it from the menu. So this is my system test finished.